Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the True Detective series. We have reached episode 3 and this one is called The Locked Room. Last episode, we got to learn a lot more about Hart and Cole as characters. We learned about Cole's fucked up past, how his daughter passed away, then he was in the narco unit experimenting with drugs and shit. Then he was in a psychiatric ward for a time before he finally got this new detective job. We saw that he still has hallucinations as well, like the sky just changing colour and shit around him. And it really explains his character more, this backstory. It's understandable why he's a bit melancholy and introspective with the passing away of his daughter, and also all the drugs he's had to take and experiment with. Some of his files are even classified, so I don't know if he was experimented on with drugs as well as taking them on a street level while he was an undercover narco. A lot of fucked up shit going on in that man's head, and last episode did a good job of explaining why. Also, we saw that Hart didn't have quite the perfect family life that we assumed from episode 1. Him and his wife are having marital disputes, and on top of that, he sees women on the side. He justifies it by saying you can't bring your work home with you, you need some sort of release. The same shit all detectives use as an excuse to get some women on the side. Still doesn't fucking justify it, Hart. Jesus Christ. And yeah, that whole episode, we just saw them following the trail. They managed to get to the ranch, and then finally they found the old abandoned church which was on the flyer, and basically the last shot of the episode was them discovering that on the wall was etched a painting very similar to the way the woman was died. There was a person with antlers on their head, and to me that is a definite connection. There is no way that shit is a coincidence, so they have found something quite significant at that church. I don't know if that's going to lead them to canvass the entire place properly or just move on from there, but it was definitely a good little clue they found at the very end. So that brings us into this episode. I can't wait to see what happens next. This is episode 3, The Locked Room. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. I notice every single episode so far has just gone straight into it. I'm assuming this show doesn't have any cold opens. Seriously, I say this every episode, but every single shot in this intro is literally like a painting, a work of art. You could freeze frame it, print it out, put it in a frame and put it on your wall, and it would be a beautiful thing to look at. It's quite the accomplishment for an opening credit sequence. Like as legendary as Game of Thrones is, and the actual music to the intro, the CGI-ishness of the intro is really hokey in comparison to something as classy as this. And don't get me wrong, I liked how that Game of Thrones intro showed the map and what was currently happening on the map and shit, but yeah, just the CGI-ness of it. Okay, so they are canvassing this area properly now. Because you never know what you might find underneath one of these random planks. This is a very desolate building, there could be all sorts of secrets hidden underneath the rubble.
He saw you in those dark corners.
No fucking way! It is Eli from Boardwalk Empire. If you haven't seen Boardwalk Empire, you probably don't know who this guy is before this show. He plays a legendary character in Boardwalk Empire.
Which is the stars and the wind between the stars. He knew you!
He has perfected the art of religious MCing.
Parish FD said the church burned down 4 months earlier. No prints.
That's certainly the type of thing they're looking for. It's a small religious tent sort of thing. Don't tell me Eli Thompson did this. Fuck's sake, Eli.
What do you think the average IQ of this group is, huh?
Can you see Texas up there on your high horse?
Interesting question by Cole there. I sometimes wonder that myself about extremist religious people. We do get very intelligent religious people though, but they are quite anomalaic.
I think it's safe to say that nobody here is going to be splitting the atom, Marty.
Einstein in the third row like, how fucking dare you? I'm aware Einstein was dead by the time this was made, and that he did not split the atom. Go fuck yourself, science people.
They divide you from what your heart knows. And there are a lot of good hearts out there. I'm looking out there, I'm seeing a lot of good hearts out there. I see a lot of joy out there.
It's interesting that he went for the Elvis look to be a pastor. Would have been interesting to see Elvis as a pastor.
If the only thing keeping a person decent is the expectation of divine reward, then brother, that person is a piece of shit.
100%. This always pisses me off about religious people. The argument like, well, if you're not religious, what's stopping you from killing and raping? And I think, wow, your religion is the only thing stopping you from doing that, you fucking psycho. I don't do it because it's wrong, and I know it's wrong whether I'm religious or not. You don't do it because you don't want punished. That's fucked up.
What's that say about your reality, Marty?
When you get to talking like this, you sound panicked.
I don't think he's panicking.
Been that way since one monkey looked at the sun and told the other monkey, he said, for you to give me your fucking share.
I gotta say, I completely agree with Cole in this subject. Much respect to religious people out there, but I share Cole's mindset. I'm a pessimistic atheist. I believe it's all about manipulating your fellow human. Control.
He absorbs their dread with his narrative. Because of this, he's effective in proportion to the amount of certainty he can project.
Agreed. In other words, you're only as good as how believable you are.
For a guy who sees no point in existence, you sure fret about it an awful lot.
Hart makes a good point as well.
At least I'm not racing to a red light.
Ah, the good old religious and atheist person being friends. I am an atheist. One of my best friends is a Christian. We're actually going to do a podcast to show that these two mindsets can coincide and question one another and not beef afterwards. If anything I've said scares you as a religious person, you're not as much of a religious person as you thought.
I want to say it's, I don't remember the name. Came pretty regularly when we was in Eunice.
So she has visited this church then.
That's lay odds. Maybe one of the widow's sons wanted us off the land. But we move on. We seek no title, no retribution.
This guy's at least telling a good tale so far. I kinda believe it might not be him just now.
So back in Eunice, who painted the mural on the church wall?
Our children from our congregation painted.
Okay, if it was their congregation, now I definitely suspect this guy.
Kind of a strange face, I think. Skin shiny around his jaw.
Skin shiny around his jaw. That kind of sounds like how they were saying the king was glistening gold or whatever.
Print and hold, thank you.
Thought those fucking trees were moving for a second. It's a boat. I'm fine. I felt like Matthew McConaughey's character.
Indecency, public exposure, whacking off outside of school.
Wow, what a fucked up guy.
I paid for that. I paid for that.
He seems like he's not all there mentally.
Someone killed this girl, made a big show of it. Left a painting of the crime scene on one of your old churches.
He's not saying the children drew that mural then. He must have been asking about the writing.
The preacher, he encourages your capacity for illusion. Then he tells you it's a fucking virtue. There's always a buck to be had doing that.
This dialogue is incredible.
Surely this is all for me. Me, I.
Most mythology emphasizes the importance of human beings. That's the same reason I don't believe in these abduction theories. Oh, it's all about us. They want to experiment on us and study us, and we'll actually have some purpose. It's like the atheist's way of still feeling special believing in UFO lore. The most terrifying thing to a human being is that we're insignificant completely.
I could see this being some kind of retard job. Pays for it, tries to redeem the act, like, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It seems like that's why that guy's there. He genuinely feels bad about what he did.
Should have been in a mental ward to begin with.
I agree with that. He doesn't seem all there. It's probably the best place for him to just be in a religious setting, trying to do good in the name of God.
He saw the tall man too. This, the Marie Fontenot thing, there's no way Lang was his first. No fucking way.
Yeah, it sounds like this tall man might be the king they were all talking about, that the woman was talking about. I thought that was going to be a better lead when they finally caught up to that church. Seems like a bit of a dead end minus that one detail about the tall man.
Yeah, but the lattices, the symbology, some kind of culture to it, Marty.
I thought Hart's first name was Eric. That's his middle name, so he's Martin Eric Hart. Got it.
I've noticed you have a tendency toward myopia, tunnel vision, blows investigations, vision skews
twists evidence.
It could make him biased towards evidence, but that could also be a trait that could cause you to solve cases others wouldn't, though.
You are incapable of admitting doubt. Now that sounds like denial to me.
I doubt that.
Brilliant dialogue, wow. I wonder who actually wrote this series. They're a great writer.
You ever think maybe he tried to push things where he wanted them to go?
No, we went where the case led us.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was trying to do that either.
As arrogant as he could be, he was right. I mean, that's how we got our man.
I can't wait till they catch up to this tall man character. They've set him up to be quite a creepy person.
People get better.
Oh, that's the thing. I think I am better.
You really think so?
Trust me.
Cole having a little heart-to-heart with Hart's wife. Having a heart-to-heart with Hart. Did he cut his grass for him? That's a bit imposing.
Hey, kids.
Hey, honey.
It shows that he is a nice man in the house, though, how excited his daughters are always to see him.
Trying to get Russ to stay for dinner.
Oh, yeah? Stay for dinner, Russ.
No, I think I gotta get.
That was the most fake I want you to stay for dinner I have ever seen.
See you Monday.
I'll walk you out.
Yeah, he's gonna want to know what the fuck this was about.
I just don't ever want you mowing my lawn, all right? I like mowing my lawn.
It's the most tense exchange I've ever seen over a cutting of grass. But it was some sort of power play. I don't exactly know what Cole was doing there, but he was doing something. He was making some sort of point.
Mom and I want to talk to you, man, about those drawings you did in school. Yeah? Mace, run to your room.
What drawings? Have we seen those? I don't think we've seen them.
Go, run.
One final peek.
Other girls liked it, and they thought it was funny, and so...
Yeah, but where did you get that idea?
What did she draw?
I'm sorry.
Shh, yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
She's a good wee child actress, this girl. I felt sorry for her there. Okay. Very, very graphic for their age.
Girls always know before boys.
Why is that?
Because they have to.
Suppose, yeah, it's true. Just to put them on guard for fucking creepy dudes and shit.
I'm sorry about that. I should have begged off. We were having a good night.
Don't stop me. Talk.
Yeah, don't cut her off with your love, motherfucker.
That's what I'm talking about. This last year, you've been a sulky teenager. You know it. I'm trying to be your friend, Marty.
To be fair, she's being pretty straight up with him, and she deserves to be told the truth back.
We used to spend weekends without leaving my room.
That's not
Remember that? You know, but it's...
Of course we don't screw like we're 19.
You can't really expect them to stay still as people in that regard, especially after, you know, they've become parents with responsibilities and things like that.
I'm sorry for everything. I'm for not being here, for taking all this for granted.
He does seem like he's taking it all for granted, though.
Work, home.
Sounds like such a lie. Maybe it's because we know it's a lie, but it sounds like a lie to me, even if I didn't know that.
Running off a cliff, and if I don't look down and keep running, I might be fine.
It's not how life works, bro. You are not Wile E. Coyote, and she is not Roadrunner. Well, I don't know if they've come to some sort of understanding there or what. Do you think she knows deep down he's cheating on her? I'm not sure. Yet another sex scene I have to edit out for YouTube. But, you know, titties are always welcome. Hello, titties.
Anyway.
Oh, fuck, I've just realised he's not got his ring on that finger anymore, so they've had a divorce since then. Shit. Some shit goes down in these next 5 episodes, holy shit.
You're not bad. It's not you. There's a weight. And it's got its fish hooks in your heart and your soul.
God, Cole interrogating you for a certain length of time would drive you insane. The depths of the psyche he will take you to.
And it's through the grace of God. You are only as the Lord made you.
It's interesting that Cole's taking this stance as well, because we know how atheist he is.
I want to confess. I want to confess.
That's an interesting way to get a full confession, but it worked.
You just look at somebody and think like they think. Negative capability.
He's clearly not under arrest for this interview if he's able to just whip out a knife in front of the detectives. Also, it shows he's conscious about animal life if he's removing the top of his can.
I've seen the finale of thousands of lives, man. Young, old.
Must be such a haunting job being a murder detective and seeing all these gruesome acts done to other human beings over the years. It's got to be mind-destroying on a certain level. You have to have quite the constitution for it.
Maggie says he's shy.
I wouldn't say that. Definitely not shy about speaking his mind.
Are they trying to hook Cole up with a little date? Why do I get the feeling this will not end fruitfully?
Hey, Russ.
Hey, Maggie.
Hi, Russ.
Jennifer Rustin.
Nice to meet you.
Well.
She's instantly like, what the fuck is with this guy?
He tastes colors.
So, what is synesthesia?
Synesthesia. It's a misalignment.
You can taste colours. Wow.
It's a type of hypersensitivity. One sense triggers another sense.
At least she's got him talking.
Touch, a texture, a scent may put a note in my head.
I've heard of that.
Oh fuck. Heart side pieces here. This might not end well.
Yeah?
The waitress will bring him, babe.
Why wait?
If I was her, I would not go and talk to her right here. Don't do this. If your wife sees you're in deep shit.
You gonna go home with this guy?
It's really none of your business.
Look at him trying to police her interactions while he's there with his wife. What a dick move.
I don't want to marry you, that's my whole point. Let's just run its course.
Come here, have a shot with him.
He's being a bit blatant right now. That's fucked up. Shame on her doing that in his wife's presence. Like, it's bad enough he's doing it outside of her presence, but to be that blatant while she's sitting down there, it's just a complete disregard for her.
So what's Alaska like?
It's beautiful.
Cole's got the moves. Look at him with his open hand style.
What'd you do in Paris?
Mainly just got drunk in front of Notre Dame.
Either that or he just doesn't want to hold her hand properly. His hand's just there for her to grab.
Each still body so certain that they were more than the sum of their urges.
He needs to stop looking at her, man.
You asked about the interrogation, so you want to know the truth?
Okay, at first I thought he was cutting up the can because he was avoiding animals getting their head stuck in it. Now I think he's like on some arts and crafts shit. What the fuck is he doing with that can?
Coonhound in another life.
Coonhound?
I meant raccoon hound. Everybody's a fucking drama queen now.
Well, that term can be seen as a racist one, so you better clarify yourself when talking to two detectives, bro.
Rules describe the shape of things.
Holy shit, fuck your bike.
Get out of here.
Fuck, Marty. Is that all you got
Stop.
for me?
Go home. I don't want this anymore.
You got that little shitbird in here?
Marty's coming across less and less likeable in these last two episodes. This is fucked up.
But she said she was sick.
Stop! Stop it!
What a dickhead, man. She's not allowed her own life.
Get off!
Yeah, that's right.
Get off!
I used to live next door to a police officer. Guess what happened? He cheated on his wife, she found out, they got a divorce and sold the house. Are all cops the same?
Sorry I got in your face, guy. I would've really done something like that. I'm not a psycho.
You seem like a fucking psycho.
I think Russ needed a family. It's boundaries. Boundaries are good.
Really? Because you seem to have no boundaries and you have a family. Damn, Hart. Why are they making me dislike you, episode 3?
You drop Jen at home?
Also, I think Hart's wife might like Cole a little bit.
And we don't mind being alone. Go to bed, Maggie. Marty will be home.
Sensible conversation there. Cole clearly has more morals than Marty.
I found one. I think another girl from earlier. Come here.
Oh, shit.
In the posterior.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that seems like it is definitely connected.
Grandpa's still there. Got a phone at the dock.
Might be quite a good lead. They should go check that shit out.
2 days. And then goes to task force and you two catch again.
Shit, they are running out of time right now. They better get a good lead off of this. I've heard that same radio sound effect as stock radio channel changing my entire life. Wu-Tang Clan used it. I've heard it in other shows recently. They love that stock radio change channel sound.
I think man can love 2 women at once.
I don't think that man can love.
Of course Cole would answer it with that.
You wonder ever you're a bad man?
Hart's doing some reflection this morning after his random man beating up. Fuck, it does look like it'll be underwater in 30 years as well. It's turning into swampland. And they're in South USA, so look out for them gators and anacondas. The mountain lions have long since drowned. I love them riverboats. You know them ones where you're like up on the big lifeguard chair with the fan behind you, the fan boats? I'd love a shot on one of those, just going through the Everglades and shit. I'd probably be mauled to death by alligators, but it would be a glorious way to die.
State said a kid gotta be bused 2 hours away to school. I ain't too big on them god botherers.
Them god botherers. Cole's constantly getting knocked.
You telling me she ain't done drowned?
We don't know that, sure.
We're just looking for a man might have known her.
Man, being a father and thinking you've already lost your daughter would be fucked up enough, but then years later for people to tell you that she didn't die accidentally and was maybe murdered would be so fucked up.
The school's small. Grades 1 through 12.
Even Light of the Way sounds a bit creepy.
The school is part of Tuttle's foundation.
Yeah, I could tell it was in some way linked to some sort of religious group with that name. God should always be working, except Sundays.
I got comeback on your R&I. Reginald Ledoux, DOB 11-1360.
Who was that? I'm not sure what that was about.
Thank you for your time.
Gotta have to cut this interview short. Unless you want to do the rest with a horn furiously honking in the background.
He's got a statch rape complaint, charges dropped. But 93, he's busted in connection to a narcotics lab used to make meth and LSD.
Fuck, this might be a good lead. For once, Hart has a lead.
This makes sense.
Looks good, baby.
Alright, we are on our way.
To avoid.
Fuck yeah, Mark, let's go.
I'm calling the Interstate APB and the U.S. Marshals on this.
Nice, they seem to have a bit of confidence about the case after that piece of information.
And finally, we arrive at Reginald Ledoux.
Is he making a little angel with his can? I do not know what he's doing.
Doesn't matter if they're dead or alive. You can still read them. And you know what you see? They welcomed it.
Yeah, a few of them seemed at peace, to be honest. But that could have been the drugs they were plied with before they were killed.
And they saw, in that last nanosecond, they saw what they were.
Still horrible to see these photos, though. What the fuck is this guy? Machete and a gas mask in his underwear. He certainly looks like a monster. Oh, and they're just leaving it there. You dirty dogs, True Detective. Wow. Okay, and that was True Detective, Episode 3, The Locked Room. And I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, The Locked Room, what did I think of that? Such an interesting episode from start to finish. A couple things stood out the most to me in this episode. The first one was Hart became a conflicted individual this episode. I won't say a bad guy, but he's certainly a conflicted human being. I mean, to have the disrespect to his wife, it started out very innocently as well. Him and his wife were trying to get Cole out for a little double date and a dance, but then he noticed his side chick there and actually had the balls to go up and confront her while his wife was in the room, which is just so disrespectful. At any point, his wife could have looked up and noticed him having a conversation with her at the bar, or she could have glanced round to see what he was looking at while they were dancing and noticed he was staring at that woman. Luckily she didn't, for her sake, but yeah, still, to have the balls to do that. And then afterwards he went and confronted him at the house like he had some sort of ownership over this woman who was only seeing him casually and completely deserved the right to try and find a boyfriend in her own time. Just really made me like him less. I still don't know what exactly Cole was doing with it, cutting grass. Maybe it was some sort of subtle way to say like, look man, fucking love your wife, she's at home. I could be another man coming round because she needs that male companionship, and he would not be cutting the grass for you. He would be fucking your wife. That's the way I took that, like Cole was trying to give him some sort of subtle message to respect his wife more. Still a bit of a power play, but I feel like he kind of got his point across and rattled Hart a little bit by doing that, which after seeing what he did this episode, he kind of fucking deserved. But because of that, I feel like Hart's wife at least sees Cole as someone to confide in just now, if not low-key likes him a little bit. But Cole seems to have stronger morals than Hart, and he doesn't seem interested in pursuing Hart's wife in that way. And yeah, the other big bombshell from this episode was, even though they didn't get any new information when they finally found the little evangelical tent religious group, they found that other body, which definitely looks like it's connected. The stab wounds to the stomach are the same, the drugs inside her system were the same, and the little symbol on her body was exactly the same. So it does seem like that is the traits of the same person who killed the other girl. And just as things were ramping up at the end and they seemed to be on the way to that guy's house, they cut the episode off. They showed us what he looked like. A fucking absolute weirdo with tattoos and a gas mask and a machete, but we never saw the confrontation. Hart does allude to having been in a gunfight, so I'm assuming next episode when they get to this guy's house, there's actually going to be shots fired from both sides. Shit's gonna be crazy. The dialogue and writing throughout this episode again was top level. I haven't even glanced at who the writer was of this series yet, but when this whole series is done, I'm gonna do a deep dive into the creators of this show, because it's so good all across the board, from cinematography, acting, directing, but the thing that really stands out for me just now is the writing. Every single dialogue interaction seems to be so cleverly written and comes from a wealth of life experience. Whoever wrote this was no whippersnapper, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I'm fucking loving this series now. I wish I could watch the next episode right now, but I'm cursed to watch one a week, so I have to wait a whole week to see what happens next. I'm gonna be counting down the days, but yeah, this shit is so good, and I'm so happy you guys recommended this for me to react to. If you've liked this reaction, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anybody you think might appreciate it or want to watch the rest of these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of all the reactions I put on YouTube. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.